Hello and welcome everybody to our midweek chat. My name is Pastor Jimmy and I hope you're having a great week so far. It was an amazing time here this past week and a half because we were able to celebrate being in person again for the second time in a row, and also we had an amazing time with the kids at Vacation Bible School this year. It was just mind-blowing getting to see all these kids back together here at the building, worshiping and learning about God and having just the time of their lives. So I'm still sort of on a high from all of that. It was a great time to be together. So thank you to everybody who made that possible, for those who were there, for those who helped lead and who helped set up, and even those of you who were just praying for us in the background. I know there was a lot of you. Thank you for helping make this VBS in this past week and a half or so just a wonderful time. Now, this week, I'm actually going to be preaching this Sunday, so I'm looking forward to seeing you there. But I thought I'd take a couple minutes this morning to sort of lead into what we're going to be talking about and why we're talking about it. If you're not 100% sure of how we do things here at Victoria Church of the Nazarene, we actually follow something that's called the lectionary, which is just a fancy term for sort of a set way of moving through the scriptures. By doing it this way, by using this thing called the lectionary, it kind of makes sure that we as leaders and pastors aren't skipping difficult or hard passages to go through, and it makes sure that we're getting a sampling of the whole Bible as we go through, and it changes from year to year to make sure that we continue to go through it. So it's a wonderful discipline and a wonderful tool that we've been using. And you may see on our websites or on our Facebook and Instagram that we post 4 verses every week. In fact, they're already up this week. I've already seen them. There's already 4 verses up there. In fact, here are the verses for this week. I'm going to put them up right here. Now, this doesn't mean that we necessarily are going to preach on all of these, but all of these 4 verses do somehow mesh together in one way, shape, or form. And that's why they were put together this way. And so I have a request from you, or for you rather, is in order to be as best prepared as we can be for what God is going to be teaching us, either through what Pastor Dave has to say or what I'll be preaching about. It's always a wonderful idea to get a head start and to just sort of familiarize yourself with the passages. As you go through, you can read, you can meditate on that, and you can pray on that, so that when we talk about it on Sundays, you've already sort of have a base of where we're going and so that allows the message to come out that much clearer and cleaner. But in that, like this week, I'm going to be actually focusing on our 2 Samuel passage as we've been talking through the life of David in the monarchy and the way that God had moved in through him, as we have called this series, as we've walked with David through the lectionary, a journey of the heart. And so this week's really fun. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened when David decided he wanted to build a temple. But in some of the other verses around, there's some beautiful, wonderful things that have also been speaking to me this week. And one of those things I wanted to talk to you about just briefly today was found in Ephesians. Our Ephesians reading for this week was Ephesians chapter 2, verses 11 through 22. And it really feeds into almost what Pastor Dave was talking about last week, about how God, even with the Ark of the Covenant being sort of the seat, right, where he was moved around with Moses and moved around in the tabernacle, never really had a place, right? He couldn't be contained inside of a box. He couldn't be contained by a place. He was movable. He was everywhere, right? He wasn't one person's, right? There was a verse that came up in this week's reading in Ephesians that I felt really was a great way of helping to explain what that means for us now as well. And in Ephesians chapter 2, I was started at verse 14. It says this: "For Christ himself has brought peace to us. He united the Jews and the Gentiles." And if you don't know what a Gentile is just somebody that wasn't a Jew. But he united Jews and Gentiles into one people when, in his own body on the cross, he broke down the wall of hostility that separated us. He did this by ending the system of law with his commandments and regulations. He made peace between Jews and Gentiles by creating in himself one new people from the two groups. Together as one body, Christ reconciled both groups to God by means of his death on the cross, and our hostility toward each other was put to death. Now, there's a lot you could actually read into or read out of that, but I was thinking this week about how often we view and understand and know one another, not by our similarities, but by our differences. I think churches are notorious for doing this as well, because while on the one hand we may be Nazarene, we have many brothers and sisters that call themselves Baptists or Anglican or Catholic or, fill in the blank. And to a degree, sometimes I find that there's always a little bit of that interesting back and forth that says, well, I think maybe we really have it, right? That's why I believe what I believe, right? I think that we really understand and everybody else is sort of just, they're close, but maybe not quite there. But I think in this verse here, God takes this hostility that can exist between two different groups and two different people, and using himself as the uniter, as he does with Jesus Christ. Using himself as a uniter brings two really opposing and different sides into one body in one family. Even though they still have their differences, even though they still have their things that they may not agree on, in Christ we have found that we are no longer many people scattered around, but we are one together. And I felt like that really connected with where Dave was going this last week when he was talking about how God doesn't really belong to one person or people. That we are united under him. He is not united underneath what we believe in him. And so in this time, I just wanted to sort of encourage you as you look out and as you look at your neighbor and you look at the people that you come across with and all of that, that I would encourage you to see not the differences, but to see where we are united together underneath God. So this week we're also going to be taking a second to look into David and what happened again when he decided that he wanted to build a temple for the Lord, and the different view that God had with that. So I hope that you are here with us Sunday. I can't wait to see you there. So even though I hope to see you on Sunday, just a reminder that if you're not feeling well or if you're just not comfortable with this coming back into a church together quite yet, join us online. We're still there the exact same time. It's 10:30 in the morning. We would love to see and have you a part of our service no matter where you're at. And if you miss it on Sunday, don't worry. It's immediately up afterwards on our Facebook and YouTube and on our website. So feel free to join us at any point. Thank you so much for being a part of this amazing church family. We are so looking forward to what God is going to do in the near future here. So may God bless you this week, and I can't wait to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.